a quadratic equation. We denote an equation now, not a quadratic expression, right? A quadratic expression was just ax squared plus bx plus c. That was a quadratic expression. It wasn't equal to nothing, right? So a quadratic equation is... All right, I got your message here, Chelsea. All right. Is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, right? This is the form for a quadratic equation, right? Where a, b, and c are numbers and a must never be equal to 0, right? So this here is a quadratic equation, right? So the goal to solve a quadratic equation.
So what is that A next to the O? Between it.
That is not equal to, so it's an equal sign.
Oh.
All right. It's an equal sign with a slash through. Really? Not equal to. All right. So to solve a quadratic equation means to find the values of the unknown variable, right? Which is x in most of the cases, right? So these values are called the roots of the quadratic equation, right? So when we find the values of the unknowns or the values of x, they will be considered the roots of the quadratic equation. Everybody good there? What's up? So yesterday we spent like an entire hour factorizing quadratic expressions yesterday. Today we're going to solve these quadratic equations because they are equal to something using factorization. This would have O here, but it's O, or the quadratic formula, right? I did not tell you all what the quadratic formula is, so let me give you all it here. I'll give you all it right here. So write down this. Quadratic formula. So it'll be x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. for number 1. We need to factorize this quadratic and solve. So stay with me. It's the same procedure for the first step that we were doing yesterday. We need to factorize, okay? So watch it. We're not ready for the quadratic formula yet, right? We will use that only if CSEC tell us to use that, or if we encounter a question where you cannot factorize, okay? If they don't have any questions here, I will put some at the end, okay? So let's go. You all know how to work a quadratic equation, right? 3 multiplied by negative 2 will give me, everybody good there?
Negative.
And which number comes underneath here?
5.
Positive 3 or negative 5, right? So I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiply to give me negative 6, and then 2 numbers that add or subtract to give me negative 5. What 2 numbers are you looking at? Huh?
Wait, so it's the same thing from yesterday, but just kind of different.
It's not different as yet. It's the same thing from yesterday.
So negative.
I'll show you the only different part. What 2 numbers can multiply to give me negative 6 and add or subtract to give me 5? Negative 5.
Negative 2.
Negative
3 and negative 2.
Right, so watch it. Negative 3 multiplied by negative 2 will give me what? And negative by negative is this kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And even if you put 1 as positive, right? So negative 3 multiplied by positive 2, right? That gives you the negative 6. Everybody agrees? But then negative 3 plus 2, does that give me negative 5? No. This answer here will be negative 1. So this cannot work. Now, when you're doing this trial and error, you can just put an X through it and then go on to the next one. Because sometimes you just have to do trial and error in your working column, right? So give me 2 other numbers that can multiply to give you 6. We only have 2 sets of numbers that can multiply to give you 6. It's 3 and 2, and 2 other numbers. What are the 2 other numbers? Come now, man. Online.
1.
Look, Alicia saying it. What is?
1.
1 and 6, right? Somebody said it here also, right? So it will be 6.
I think I said yesterday, no. I think I said 1 and 6 yesterday.
Right, 1 and 6 they are always factors. Now you have to get negative 6. So one of these numbers have to be negative. Which one you put negative, Christian? The 6, right? So the 6 is negative, the 1 is positive. So watch why we put the 6 as the negative, right? When I put negative 6 plus 1, would I get negative 5 here? Yes, negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5. So negative 6 and positive 1 checks out. So I'm not putting negative 6 alone here. I'm putting negative 6x, right? And I'm not putting positive 1 alone. I'm putting positive 1x, which is as positive x, right? I'll put the 1 here for those who need to see. Okay? Trial and error. You can leave this in CSEC here. This big x you put here, leave that. That was as part of your working. You scratch it off, you try something else. Are we clear? Okay, so this one was incorrect. So we try something else, right? So we go in. What am I writing here? There we go. 3x squared, Come on, we do this yesterday. Minus
Minus 6
plus x minus 2 equal to 0. I find we do like if we do this for the first time, boy. Who needs explanation for anything here? Right. How much are we going to factorize at a time? 2.
2
right?
at a time.
Once you have 4 terms, you always factorize 2 at a time. Now you realize I'm not putting the equal sign in front here. I was doing that when we were doing expressions, but this is an equation. You can only have 1 equal sign in a line, right? So you do not put these equal signs.
Where you get 2 equals 0 from?
Look at 2 on top here, minus 2 equals 0. That's the equation.
Okay.
Yeah. So there we go. What could go into 3x squared and 6x?
2.
No. 3. Excellent. 3.
Oh, gosh.
And
Sorry.
is x common. That's okay. That's okay. Yes. So 3x, right? So let's go. What coming in the bracket now? X, because 3x into 3x squared leaves me with x. 3x into negative 6x leaves me with
2.
Bring down the plus to the middle. Now 1 is the only thing that can go into x and 2. Now this one I put here, guys. You don't need to put that one. All right. So 1 is the only thing that can go into those two things here. So you put 1. 1 into x is x. 1 into negative 2 is negative 2 equals 0. Everybody with me so far? What's the last step here? Come on, this is food. X minus 2. And what's in the next bracket?
3x plus
3x plus.
Equal to 0.
Oh, so that is the difference where it shows now.
Sorry, that's our put plus 2 here.
So where you got it 2 from?
It's 1, it's 1, it's 1. There you go. Right? Right. So this up to here is what we did yesterday. Okay? Up to here. It's just the only addition here is we have an equal 0 at the end. Right, Chanela? Christian? You good there, bro?
Yeah.
You wasn't here yesterday. Nobody did this in school already?
Yeah.
All right. Okay? Tamara? There you go. Right. So at this point now, when we reach here, you branch off into 2 answers. Okay? So I want you to put an arrow coming from the 2x minus 2, and then 1 coming from the 3x plus 1. So you have 2 equations you're going to form now. The first equation of the x minus 2 is equal to 0. And the second equation is going to be 3x plus 1 equal to 0. I took each bracket and equated to 0, right, Michael? All right?
Yeah.
What are we doing here, Michael? To find x. If we have x minus 2 is equal to 0, this is like form 1 algebra. What I do with the 2 and I carry it here, Michael?
Shift the sign.
Right? So x will be equal to 0 plus 2. X will be equal to 2. Everybody good there?
Yeah.
That's one value of x. The thing about quadratic equations is you would have 2 values of x. So we go in here now. No, it's not hard. When you carry 1 here, what do you do with it? Subtract.
You take it out, subtract.
1. So 3x is equal to negative 1, right? When I carry 3 here now, what do I do? Excellent. Well, you must be afraid to say these things, eh? So x will be equal to negative 1 divided by 3. So my 2 values for x would be 2 and negative 1, 2. Okay? So we just solved a quadratic equation. It out straight. So you'll continue working, right? I'm going to multiply 3. Jeremiah, you can use my method even if you learned it differently in school. Right? I start by putting an x under here. So I'm multiplying the 3 by the negative 8, I get negative 24. Right, Jeremiah? Then the middle number, which is the 2, is what I put underneath here. So I'm looking for 2 numbers I can multiply to give me negative 24, and the same 2 numbers must add or subtract to give me positive 2. So watch it. 6 multiplied by negative 4 will be negative 24, and then 6 minus 4 will give me, and this checks out? Right.
Yeah. So by the 2, you have a positive?
Yeah, you can put it positive. I don't want to put it, it don't matter.
Okay.
Positive is understood, right? So what's something? I'm going to put plus 6x here now because x is the unknown, and I'm going to put minus 4x. So this replaces here. These 2 numbers replace that 2x, okay? So watch it, Jeremiah. I put in 3x squared plus 6x. I not put in 2x. I put in plus 6x minus 4x minus 8 equal to 0. I didn't change anything else but this in the middle here. Cool? Right? This is the working. You see this part here, brothers and sisters? You see this part here? Once you could jump this hurdle here, it had nothing else hard in quadratics. This little part here, this is all you had to navigate. Once you can navigate this, it's nothing else hard. All right? So we go in. Y'all continue working. Don't wait for me. Remember, I told you all don't ever wait for me. Once you can move with pace, right? So I'm factorizing out 3x here now. Somebody mic on.
Oh, go on, mine. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So it'll be 3x open bracket. 3x into 3x squared leaves me with x. 3x into 6x leaves me with 2. Right? Close bracket. Bring down the minus. The number that could go into 4x and 8 will just be 4. X cannot go because x is not common. So I pull out that 4, right? So negative 4 into negative 4x leaves me with x. And negative into a negative is a positive. 4 into 8 is 2. Something I did not say, Jeremiah, that I kept saying yesterday is that these two brackets at this point must be the same. If they are not the same, you did something wrong. Cool? Right. So we go in last step now. The brackets that are the same would be your first bracket here. And then whatever else remains, which will be the 3x and the minus 4, forms the second bracket. Proper thing, bro? Then, once it's to solve, if it's to factorize, guys, well, first of all, if they just ask us to factorize our quadratic, it wouldn't have these zeros, right? If it's just to factorize a question done here, but they want us to solve, right? So to solve, you're branching off now. You hear me, Jeremiah? You're branching off. So that first bracket is equal to 0. So you have x plus 2 is equal to 0. Cool? Then you have 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. Right? So you carry this 2 here. What are you doing with it? Negative. So x will be equal to 0 minus 2, which is s minus 2. Cool? You carry this 4 here. You have to carry the 4 first before we deal with the 3, right? So 3x is equal to 0 plus 4, which is just 4. Agreed? Then you carry the 3 here. What to do with the 3? Excellent. Right? Now, I know some of you are probably feeling like all you understanding is real good, eh? But let me tell you something, eh? By next week, this out all your head, eh? If you don't practice, eh? Well, let me say it again. By next week, this out your head if you don't practice, eh?
So my question.
Go ahead, bro.
So the
It's working for you. Okay? Right. So we had 3x squared plus 4x minus 15. I multiplied 3 by negative 15. I got negative 45. The two numbers I can multiply to give me negative 45 will be 9 and negative 5. And then 9 minus 5 gives me 4. So those two numbers checks out. Right? Hold on. All right. So we go in. I will have 3x, which is the first number. Everybody good there? Then plus 9x. Everybody good there? Minus 5x minus 15 is equal to 0. Talk to me. Right. 4 terms, we factorize 2 at a time. What could go into 3x squared and 9x? It would be 3x.
3x.
Right? So 3x into 3x squared would be x. 3x into 9x would be 3. Bring down the minus. Right? 5 and 15. 5 could go into 5 and 15. Right? Negative 5 into negative 5x leaves me with x. Negative 5 into negative 15 gives me positive 3 equals 0. If these two brackets are not the same, you did something wrong. Right? The brackets that are the same form the first bracket here. What else remains, which is the 3x and the negative 5, forms the next bracket, equal to 0. At this point here now, I branch off into 2 answers, right? Okay, so you have x plus 3 is equal to 0, and you have 3x minus 5 is equal to 0, right? Carry this 3 here. When I carry positive 3 there, it becomes minus 3.
Minus 3.
Minus 3 will be negative 3. When I carry negative 5 here, it becomes plus 5. 3x is equal to 0 plus 5, which is 5, right? Carry the 3 here, coming right on the side here. X will be equal to 5 over 3. Okay? Raise your hand if you get this. Here. Anybody here get this? 1, 2, 2, 3. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If they put 1 and 2/3.
Yeah, 1 and 2/3 proper thing. Still correct.
Okay.
Right? 1 and 2/3 is correct also. Right? What went on, Chris? You didn't get this? But that's the most important part for this type here. We are doing solving. So if they actually just solve, they want, so you will get marks, you know. Like if you stop here, you'll get marks. You'll probably get a little 1 mark. And then this will be 1 mark for this answer, 1 mark for this answer. So a question like this will be 3 marks for CSEC. Right? Right. So you know what's going on with these here. H to the W. And let's do the last one, right? All the that's not already. All these here will be homework. Well, again, I have full 2 weeks to work on these things. Full 2 weeks, right? All right. So let me go here now. All right, this is additional quest. No, not additional questions.
So what about the I?
Huh? Yeah, I'm gonna do I.
Oh,
Questions involving quadratic formula. All right, hold on. All right. Hey. All right, there you go. We are up here now. Right. You all see there was no A here. There was no A here. I don't think I did any questions like this before. So that's why I make sure I'm putting one. Right? That's where the little experiences come in to know, to remember these things, right? So what is understood in front here, boy? 1. So don't get frightened if you don't see no number in front there. 1 is understood, right? So 1 by 6 is, and then middle number comes here. So what 2 numbers can multiply to give me 6, add or subtract to give me 5? 3 and 2. It can't be 6 and 1 because one of them would have to be negative to get 5, right? And then when you multiply a positive by a negative, you will get -6, which we cannot get, right? So this is plus 3x. This is 2x. Plus 2x, plus. So we go in and I tell all if this works for you, put it, right? This comes here, this comes here. Right, Jeremiah? Yeah. If it worked for you, brother, do it. All right? So we go in. It look like a heart there. Means we love maths. All right, so there we go. X squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 6 equals 0. Everybody with me there? All right. We are doing 2 at a time. Michael Narayan, I feel like my dreams, eh?
No, no, sorry.
You're falling, right?
Yeah, sorry. My computer just giving trouble.
All right, we go by that. By that today. Right, there you go. 2 at a time. What could go into x squared and 3? X, open bracket, x plus 3. Good? Bring down the plus. 2x and 6. What could go into 2x and 6, my children? 2.
2.
X plus 3. Because 2 into 2x is x. 2 into 6 is 3. Equal to 0. All right? Next step here, Shanella. What are we doing? What's the next step here, Shanella? Proper thing, sister. You ain't going to school in September, you're showing off, but don't show off. Be humble with it. With these powers that you all achieved over the vacation. Right, Jenny? Be humble with it, right? But hey, all you must help people, eh? As encourage my children to do that, eh? Well, because when you teach someone something, you just understand it better. All you know that, right? Teach. So like if somebody will help them. Because when you teach it now, sometimes you teach it and you'll be like, what the hell is supposed to do that, right? And you'll be shocked, right? How much you can understand by teaching people. All right, let me go. Boom. Bang. x plus 3 is equal to 0. X plus 2 is equal to 0. So what happened to this when it comes here?
Minus.
0 minus 3, x will be equal to minus 3. What happens to this when it comes here? 0 minus 2, x is equal to minus 2. Everybody good there? Right? That is that for solving quadratic equations using factorization. Right? So let me go to the quadratic formula now. Over here, right? So let's go and write over the quadratic formula. So we write in a little note. We use the quadratic formula when quadratic factorization is not possible. All right? Is not possible. All right. Now for the quadratic formula here, CSEC actually gives you this in the formula sheet. So you don't have to worry about memorizing it. But I always tell my students once you do know what you're supposed to do, like how I train you all to do questions, where I train you all to write a formula before every question. Once you do that, it sticks in your head. So you don't even have to turn back to that formula sheet to get the formula. So quadratic formula. Right? If you want to find x will be equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Right? And I also want to put here when.
So that is a plus over negative?
Yeah, it's just a plus and a minus. So we say plus or minus, right? When the quadratic equation is
So what is that there? 4 and what?
AC. 4 AC. All right, so when your quadratic equation is given as, right, it's one quadratic form, ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. All right, so now we're going to jump. Right, I'm only doing these two here. Might have to do one more, but we're doing the two for, let me start the two and see if you all understand it. And then we'll decide if we're doing more, right? Okay, so given this, they said solve the quadratic equation, this, using the quadratic formula. Now, once they say using the quadratic formula, is either two things. CSEC sometimes asks you to use the formula, right? Or sometimes you cannot factorize using, you cannot solve the quadratic using factorization. That's why they ask you to use the quadratic formula. So I want to show you all how you cannot use factorization here, right? So watch this. You have 2x squared plus 3x plus 7 is equal to 0, right? Watch something. If I multiply 2 by 7, what would I get? 14, right? The number underneath is 3. You only have two pairs of numbers that can multiply to give you 14. They would be 7 by 2 and it will be 14 by 1. Any of those numbers could add or subtract to give you 3? No. So you cannot use factorization. All you seen that? Everybody seen that? Sometimes if you're solving you're trying to solve an equation, a quadratic equation, and you get frustrated, right? You could revert to this formula because you could use it for normal quadratics also, right? You can use it for normal quadratics that can be factorized. But what CSEC do now is when CSEC asks you to solve a quadratic, they're telling you to use factorization, right? So you had to know how to factorize. You have to know how to use the quadratic formula, okay? So I'm going underneath here now. So this cannot be done, right? So I'm putting some lines to this. We can't use this, right? Okay? So we go into the quadratic formula. So let me go. We had to know what A is. What is A from that formula above? 2. Everybody see that? What is B?
3,
And what is C?
7.
Right? So I'm going to write the quadratic formula because I told you all messaging me. I'll message him after. Right. I told you all, once you're doing the questions the proper way, these things will stick. Once you do that question for me, you are required to write my formulas. You know, for when I give in tests and stuff in school, I don't give 3 marks if they don't write their formulas because that's what I need to encourage. Right? So we go in negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So the question is a substitution question now, right? So let me go. It'll be negative what? 3
Negative 3.
or minus the square root of 3 squared minus 4 by right. You can write it just so in brackets, right? All over 2 by. Who's lost? Who's lost here?
Now me know.
Guys, the children had lost. Tell me where you lost.
And it's from x equal minus 6. Alright.
Where you see minus 6, this is minus b.
Minus b, sorry.
Right. That is your quadratic formula. That's a formula that you have to memorize. Okay, Spring? This is your quadratic formula. Okay, Spring? Is Spring or Selena? Who was asking me?
It's sorry.
Spring, right. So you have to memorize that. You see where we get A, B, and C from?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else have any other questions? Please ask your questions. Your questions are very important. I'm going to put something here. Cannot work. Right? So I put in this and an arrow here. Cannot work, right? So because factorization cannot work, you use your quadratic formula, right? Anybody else have any other question here before I proceed?
Yes, sir, could do it over more than please.
Tell me where you don't understand, Jovel. You
Yes,
understand where I
ma'am.
get A, B, and C here? You understand where I get that from?
Yeah, I gotta understand that part. It's just
Right.
It's just down there, but the quadratic formula part.
Right. So the formula is something you have to memorize, right? This is the formula. Now, all I did is I replaced B with 3. You see that, Jovel?
Yes,
I
sir.
replaced B with 3. So I place this B with 3. Let me put the arrow on it. I replace B with 3. I replace this B with, well, the B underneath the square root there with 3. I replace A with 2. I replace C with 7. I replace this A underneath here with 2. Right, Jovel?
Yeah, I see you there now.
Right. So here I want you to work out. Work out what goes under the bracket for me. No, not the bracket, sorry, not the square root. Oh, something wrong with this question. Hold on. Right, so we have to change up the whole question, right? So the quadratic will be 2x squared plus 3x minus 3 equals 0. Okay? A is 2, B is 3, C will be negative 3. So I'll change it inside here now. So this will be negative 3 here now. Okay? It will work out now. Right. Give me some answers now. So this will be equal to, make sure I had 7 anywhere. 7. I had 7. No.
So C is equal to -3 now.
Right. C is -3. So I had to check this one before we do this one. Yes. Yeah, I get my wrong thing here. Right. So this will be -3 plus or minus the square root of. I want you all to work out on it there. Where you get? 33. Positive 33. Right. Everybody confirm that. It'll be 9 minus. You have to multiply all these things. So it'll be -4 by 2 by -3. You'll get positive what? Positive 24. Positive 24.
So that's 33 there.
Huh?
That is 33 there.
Yeah.
So go over that part there when they with the -3. I lost when they reach 33 then. That is which what I lost.
Right. Work out underneath the square root. So punch it on the calculator. 3 squared minus 4 by 2 by -3. Press equal and confirm again 33. Everybody else get 33? Right? Confirm again 33. I'll check the second one before we do it. Confirm that. And then I want to show you all how we branch it off into 2 answers, right? Okay. Now, it's only recently I realized CSEC started bringing questions and asking you to solve it using the quadratic formula. That's why I want to make sure we do questions on it, right? So watch it. At this point now, I need you to branch up into 2 answers. Right? So what are the 2 answers are? Somebody mic on.
My
All right. So the first one will be x equals to -3. So for one of them, you're using plus square root of 33 all over 4. And on this side, it will be x is equal to -3 plus the square root of 33. Not plus, sorry, minus on the side. So 1 is minus, 1 is plus. That's how you calculate your 2 answers. All over 4. So I want you all to give me these answers to 2 decimal places. On your calculator, you work out the numerator. So it'll be -3 plus square root of 33. Press equal and then press divide by 4. Wait again. To 2 decimal places. 4AC. Negative. Somebody give me the answer, please. 4. What you all get into 2 decimal places? So the first one here. Anybody? -4.3. Did you work out the top, press equal, and then divide by 3? I don't think that's right. You get that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. This wrong.
Okay. I don't know. Okay.
Take a break down the top.
Again, -2.1.
Where again, Andel?
How much decimal places?
2 to 2 decimal places.
-2.19.
Everybody else get
I
it?
get that same thing.
Yeah, I get that.
So you work
So I
out
get 4.2.
So you put in -3 plus square root of 33, then you have to press equal. Because if it has put divide by 4, the calculator will divide 33, the square root of 33 by 4, which is wrong. Work out the top, press equal, and then divide by 4. What you're getting? -2.19. Right? So Anna get that, and Cindy and Brittany.
I feel like I need to check over that.
So, if you just work out the top alone before you move any decimal, you'd get -0.1277.
When you work out the top,
Yeah, like if I do.
right? So the first one will be 0.
So I guess 0.68.
0.68? Why are you afraid to say it? All the talk now, man.
Sir, what? Sir, go for that.
0.69. Two decimal places, right?
Positive. It's positive, eh?
Sir, I have 4.3. I have 4.3.
Say that again?
Do is 0.69. Two decimal
Right,
places.
0.69 because after the 8 have a number that is 5 or greater, right? Everybody good here now? Make sure you get this now.
So I don't know. I don't know how to work out it.
You know
Yeah, I
to
don't know.
you know to
I don't know.
So the question said to use the quadratic formula, right? Find the solutions for this quadratic by applying the quadratic formula, right? Now, if you proceed to try to use factorization, you'll realize factorization cannot work, right? Jeremiah, what's something? 1 multiplied by 9. 1 9 is 9. Anything could multiply to give you 9 and add or subtract to give you 14? No. So factorization can't work. So let me don't even waste time there, right? So I reason that. So let me go. The first thing when you're working in a quadratic formula, I want you all to do so write down what A is, what B is, and what C is. What A, B, and C are. 1.
A is 1. B is 14.
And C.
9.
ST is 9.
9.
9.
Right? So you see the people who talking as people who I could talk for, right? As people are sure doing their work, right? So let me go. Quadratic formula. X is equal to negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC, right? All over.
No, sir, that's come like for the formula. You just writing back the question I have to give you.
Say that again with the formula. This formula is the formula for any quadratic. This
Right,
is,
yeah, that what I mean, yeah.
yeah, this is the quadratic formula, right? So x would be equal to negative of negative 14. Everybody good there? Because b is negative 14. So it would be negative of negative 14 plus or minus the square root of negative 14 squared minus 4 by 1 by negative 14. All right? No, by 9. Where I get negative 14 from? By 9. C is 9. All over what? All over 2A.
Sir, let me write that part there. I didn't write that part.
2 by A. A was a 1?
4 there.
Right. So x would be equal to a negative, and a negative is a. So this could just be written as 14. Everybody get there? Plus or minus the square root of, give me what coming underneath there. Everybody work it out? 160. Somebody had a second this.
Yeah, 160.
Yeah, 2 students get 160. Let me get 2.
I get 160.
Right. So we roll out.
1.6 minus 2.
I have a video where I asked in churn. Yeah, we second, we third in that man. And then when I check over the thing, when I calculated it on my calculator, wrong like hell, you know. About 5 students say the answer, though. But mama, I don't be calculating these things. So I go into yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah?
The minus 14, that was in the sum before?
Yeah, look, it's negative 14. What is negative 14?
Oh boy, you see, I make a mistake here. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Right, underneath 2 by 1 is 2. Okay? 2. Okay. Right, so we branch it off into 2 answers. I had it come down here. So 1, and then we on this side, 2. Okay? So we go in plus on one side, minus on the next side. So we'll have x is equal to 14 plus the square root of 160 over 2. Right? Answer to 2 decimal places. X will be equal to 14 plus, not plus, minus the
Excuse
square
me,
root.
sir.
Yeah?
Okay, let's go over where you get the 160 there, please.
Right. So 160, you'll have to work that on your calculator, right? So on your calculator, you're punching in negative 14 squared So you put in negative 14 squared, that will come up in brackets, minus,
When I do that, I get minus 196.
now you can't get minus 196. Negative 14.
No, sir, I think I get the same thing.
Listen, negative 14 squared is negative 14 multiplied by negative 14. You can never get a negative number as your answer. So when you're working out that on a calculator, you have to put the negative 14 in brackets and put the square outside the bracket. Because
Alright, so
if you write it, if you punch it on the calculator like this, the calculator that says square the 14. It does square the it does square to the negative.
So you put in brackets 40.
Yeah. Negative 14 and I put the square outside the bracket. Okay? I tell you the part of this process, a part of it showing that your past maths is master that calculator. You have to master that calculator. And always have a calculator that, you know, you can familiarize yourself with it. Okay. So if I multiply 5 by 3, I'll get 15. The two numbers I can multiply to get 15 will be 15 by 1 and what? 3 by 5. None of them can add or subtract to give you the middle number, which is 12, right? So we roll straight into the quadratic formula, right? A is equal to B is equal to
B.
A is equal to
3.
proper thing. X is equal to negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. All right?
So I'm right, I'm up to the now.
Is a substitution question here now, Sydney. So this will be negative 12 plus or minus the square root of 12 squared minus 4 by 5 by 3. Right? Selena, you had to get a new calculator?
Yes, sir.
I wonder if I can pause this for these answers here. Right, hey, so we had confirmed these answers up here. X is 13.32 and X is 0.68. We'll call the top first, press equal, and then divide by 2, right? All right, so we come back here. So A is 5, so this will be divided by...
Take it up a little bit, please.
Up?
Yeah.
I want to go up as well.
All right, I'll go up. Let's finish this one. This will be negative 12 plus or minus the square root of what? Somebody give more going on there. This square root now.
Negative 48.
Negative 48. Huh? I get 84 too in my head.
So I have 84.
Yeah, 84. This will be square root of 84. Right? Sydney, check
84 it is.
yeah, Sydney, check it over.
What is it, sir?
And you say you was getting a negative under the square root here?
Me?
For me,
Oh,
Daniela.
so added
Oh, was Daniela?
square root sign,
Okay.
my wife.
All right. Branch off into two answers here. 1 plus 1 minus. I want to show you one more thing before I go, right? Somebody want to write on something up here.
Yes, I write in right now. That's some that you're doing there.
You want to take a screenshot?
Some that you're doing that one they have it already.
All right.
The
you
one
had it.
that you're doing right now is what I write in number 3.
All right. Right. The others you all could do all this by meanwhile, and then I just want to do I'll actually leave it for you all to try to figure it out. I'll try to do one of each because we have 20 minutes.
So my mistake was I just jumped straight into the formula. Don't know. I didn't multiply the 5 and the 3.
Yeah, remember it's 4AC. The formula is 4 by A by C. A is 5. C
No,
is
sir. I mean to get the 15. I just substitute the numbers with the letters.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So,
So
all right.
it's 12 by 12 minus 12 by 12 to get here. That part there.
Yeah, this is 12 squared minus You have to work out 4 by 5 by 3, right?
Okay.
12 plus or minus the square root of, no, not plus or minus, we're doing it separate now. So plus on one side, minus on the next. Plus 84 over 10.
But why getting that 9?
Right? We're getting 9.
On top. Say what that is. Say 12
X
squared. Say again, sir.
minus square root 84 all over 10. Right.
So just go by the part. Just go by the part where you get 84, please.
Right. Look at here. Look at under the square root on top of the page, right? You seen 12 squared?
Yeah, seen 12 squared.
Punching 12 squared minus.
You're using the minus and the plus sign, right?
No, normal minus.
Okay.
Normal minus.
I'm gonna do it over. Oh my gosh. Oh no, this calculator. Just now, sir.
Yeah. Somebody give me the answer by me now. What y'all get down here?
Negative 0.28.
Negative what? 0.2? Right, to it. Let's see if you can get some people to second, third, and fourth this. All right, where you get on this side?
0.01.
Look, somebody says 0.01.
No, 0.11.
Now get the 84, sir. Now get the.
All right, good. 0.11 where? Somebody saying 0.11.
I said 0.12.
0.12 on this side. Check it over. That. Yeah, that could be right, you know. Yeah. Check it over, y'all. What y'all getting on this side? Check over this side. 0.12. Alicia, where you get there? Negative 12 minus square root 84, press equal, and then divide by 10. Where again?
0.12.
Right, remember one is minus, one is plus, right? This looking wrong.
No, sir, it's 2.112.
Right. So we get x is negative 0.28 and x is negative 2.12. Right? Raise your hand if you get this, please.
Because if you didn't move it with the decimal point, you will just have negative 2.116.
Right. So you have to change the 1 to a 2.
Yeah, so that is how you get it negative 2.12.
But you're well getting on online, Brittany. Oh, God. Right. So HW here. Let me put a little red. All right. This is homework. Well, I real homework for the next 2 weeks. Right. I just want to do 2 here, right?
So let me see the next side of the question. Next side of the question, eh? Well, the next side of the answer. There's always 2 parts. From the last question you're doing just now there.
Yeah, no problem. What's that, Cindy?
I get it 0.28, but you have a next part there on the next side?
Yeah, negative 2.12. That's so you're doing plus on one side, minus on the next.
Okay, let me just write it down.
Yeah, write it down. Right, and I'm going to do one of each. How much time we have? 15 minutes.
So why keep saying we have 15 minutes? 11 is 60 minutes past 11.
Yeah, we're stopping at 11:30 today.
So you're feeling sorry for real?
Yeah, back to back. Back to back.
I really say, but how you only saying that? Going so early. I know something get comfortable.
You get comfortable late, you.
So I used to be real frustrated in maths. We lie. I used to get upset when I say a question, but I used to enjoy your class.
That's excellent.
Also, I'd be sleeping.
That means I'm doing something good. But I know I'm doing something good because all my classes has been full, boy.
So you believe when I finish class and I done with the questions, I go and look it over and try to work it out by to see if it is.
And I will try to send all the recordings from yesterday and today by this evening, right? I really try to do. If not this evening, I'll get it tomorrow for sure. Let's bear with me because after here I just had to meet the Grandy, you know. So sometimes when I reach Grandy, I so bun. Just wait to borrow for that, yes. So let's give me a little chance. And what happened? I started to edit the videos now.
So just so that for 1 minute, let me see the one side without taking a screenshot quickly. But the question we are doing just now.
Take a screenshot. So I want to do one of each of them questions on here. Right. So watch this. Changing subject of formula. We did this when we did the last worksheets. Send me your mic. Right. So we did this when we did the worksheet before, right? Which was changing the subject of the formula. But these questions, you'll realize, have two R's. Before, when we were making things the subject, they only had one value that we wanted to make the subject of the formula. But here now you have two. So what's going on? First things first, you cannot make anything the subject of a formula when it is in the denominator position, right? So I'm going to take this entire thing, carry it to the side, and what do I do to it when I carry it there? Multiply, right? So this will be V multiplied by R minus X is equal to 3R. All right. Now you'll see we have two R's and they want us to make R the subject. But the whole mission when you're trying to make something the subject of a formula is to get that variable alone on one side. But there are two R's. So what are we going to do? First things first, let's get rid of this bracket. V by R and V by X, right? So V by R will give me VR minus V by X will give me Vx is equal to 3R, right? So what we need to do now is we need to get everything with R on one side. So I'm going to carry this Vx here, and what this minus Vx will become? Plus, right? And like how I make that arrow. Next thing that confuse people. And so I think that everything with these things, you know, we got to make sure them arrows precise, etc., right? So watch, it will be VR. Now, this 3R also, I could bring it on the side. But it is plus 3R, which will become minus 3R on the side, okay? And that minus Vx will become plus Vx on the side, which can be written as just Vx. Everybody good there? Now, I'm going to factorize out the R, okay? Factorize, all right, it's in red. Factorize R, okay? So, I'm looking for the HCF of VR and 3R. What's the HCF of VR and 3R? R, okay? So, R into VR leaves me with minus R into 3R leaves me with equals to Vx. So, if I want to make R the subject, it means I want R alone on the left-hand side. So, the last thing I move would be this V minus 3. What do I do with it when I carry it to the right? Divide Vx over V minus 3. Right? Question done. R is now the subject. So these here are changing subject of the formula with factorization.
So we can write it, please.
Yeah, go ahead. And then I'll just do one of those underneath and then we'll call off the class, right?
So it really isn't.
Pause this. Right. So the question, when you want to simplify using factorization, the question would not tell you that. You have to recognize it. Sometimes the question will come like this, where they would ask you to like factorize this, and then hence simplify the expression, which means that you're using the two factorizations you just got there, right? Which will be the brackets that you just created in order to solve this one, right? So let's now make these things a little bigger. Even though we're not going to do all of them now. Hey guys, I will get these things to you later. I want to make put in a little extra questions, I feel, on these. So just look out for it later. I wouldn't send it immediately. I will send them probably about 6 p.m. this evening, all right? I want to put some extra questions. Okay, so watch this here. If we look at the top here, what is this? If I was to factorize this, You cannot say x into x squared is x. That's madness. Once you have a minus in between the two terms, you cannot factorize like that. A minus or a plus. Okay? So we basically need to factorize. What is going on in my numerator position there? What that is? Come on, we did lots of questions like this. What is that above there? X squared minus 1 squared. See that jolt your memory or jog your memory. What is this? X squared minus 1 squared. So we have 26 people online and we have 6 people face to face. And nobody remember how to factorize the numerator there.
So I just blitzing out the answers. Take away.
No. How to factorize that numerator there. We did plenty questions on this.
Say you take out the x, anyone? No?
No.
Add the 2
Multiply?
squares.
As somebody say add the 2 squares, no. Not multiply, no. Well, we are leaving here till somebody tell me that. I rock it back. Somebody had to figure out that.
Yeah, minus.
No.
Minus a positive.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
no. Not HCF. Not square root, no.
Yeah, the add 1.
No, not LCM. What is it? LCM?
The subject.
No, not making X the subject. We want to factorize the numerator. We want to factorize this. Let me put separate. X squared minus 1 squared. I'm telling all of that 1 is the same as 1 squared. Hey, my sister said here. Difference of 2 squares. Right? All you can't remember that? We do that yesterday, you know. Hey, you see how I was telling you, Preston? By next week, you forget all this, you know, brother. Well, it's not even next week, by tomorrow. So watch it. This will be x minus 1 and x plus 1. All you can't remember this from yesterday, right?
Right. Yes.
And it will be over x minus 1. X minus 1 is at the base here, right? Okay? I'm going to write it in red. Difference of 2 squares. Ooh, I'm going to put spares. Squares, right? Only one person in a class of 26 and 6 is what? 32? One person, remember that, no?
So it's 2 days we go in.
Only Jeremiah, because Jeremiah wasn't yesterday. Everybody else was here. Right? Say that somebody else say something. So, hey, all you tell me now, what looking like it could cancel now? I'll put this in brackets to make it look a little more. What looking like it could cancel? To
So the
simplify it.
x and the 1 too?
Right? So,
Yeah,
my
so the
answer
x
here is simply x plus 1.
Plus 1. Oh,
So, done. Right? So, the hint down here is you have to factorize to simplify. Okay? Just go down and give all some heat, but that's what we bout. We bout heat.
So you don't scroll down and circling for the homework. I ain't get it right.
Nah, go back up now because class done. Right? So that's all the homework. I put in some more questions underneath here. Right? But I will do it after class. Okay? But you will have some good work to do for me over the next 2 weeks. And I want all to come back here knowing everything I pressed done. One day, nobody. Difference at 2 squares. And I real pouring out my heart to teach them things, you know.
So